On today's episode number 15 of the Real Recovery Podcast, we're bringing you an exciting and heartfelt discussion from True Colors Recovery. Peter and Julie are joined by Chris G from True Colors as they share their journeys and the incredible support this organization provides to the LGBTQ+ community. From peer mentorship programs to engaging events like drag shows and dances, True Colors offers a safe and vibrant space for recovery. You'll hear inspiring personal stories, the importance of finding your tribe, and how community and connection can be powerful tools in the recovery journey. So, sit back and enjoy as we explore the transformative impact of True Colors Recovery.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast. I'm Julie, your co-host. On this journey of healing and transformation, together with my co-host Peter, we dive into the heart of recovery, sharing stories that resonate with courage and inspiration.
That's right, Julie. Each episode is a new chapter in this vast narrative of recovery, and we're honored to bring them to you. But keep in mind the perspectives you'll hear are for informational purposes only and may not reflect the views of the podcast or our partners.
Indeed, while these conversations can be a powerful part of your recovery toolkit, they are not substitute for professional medical advice. We encourage you to seek guidance from your healthcare provider for any treatment-related decisions.
And if you're facing an immediate crisis, or if you just need to talk to someone who understands, don't hesitate to call the Recovery Crisis Line at 503-223-8569. That number is also on our website. Help is available 24/7.
Now let's begin our episode
Of recovery, real recovery.
Don't worry, it's going to be a lot more casual than you think. It'll just be like you and I have a conversation. I promise.
Okay. I'm just here for the tech part of it, and I don't talk much.
You're welcome to talk.
I might throw a question out there every now and then, but we're rolling, and I'm Peter.
I'm Julie, and we're here with Chris. And we are so excited because we're at True Colors, and they have been very kind and to let us do this podcast from their facility. So I'm going to introduce Chris, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what True Colors does and about him. He's nervous, and I told him there's no wrong in this podcast at all. We've had it all.
Thank you guys both so much for coming. I'm super excited to have you here on this lovely May Saturday. And yeah, I guess let's go.
So for those of you who don't know, it is the day that Mount St. Helens erupted. And yesterday, we got to celebrate my 27th anniversary.
Oh my God, congratulations.
It was pretty emotional. I felt like I broke up with somebody this morning. I had bags under my eyes from crying. So it was really good though. So tell us how you got to True Colors and then what you do.
All right. How I got to True Colors. Yeah, I got sober in November of 2022. It was a long journey in and out of rehabs, lots of residential, PHP, IOP, 12-step meetings, all that jazz, therapy, EMDR, you name it, I tried it. But things finally started to click for me when I was at Fora Health in Southeast Portland in late November of 22. And then I stayed there for a few months. And then after getting out, I really felt called to start working within the community. And so I'd always heard of True Colors, but I hadn't really participated in any of their events or really been to any of their meetings. And sometime I think in last May, I started coming into the center. I started checking out some of the meetings. I met some of the people that worked here, and things just started falling into place. It led to a position being open, an interview happening, and I didn't actually get it the first time. I wasn't hired originally, but then about 6 weeks later, they reached out to me again, and they were like, oh, there's this different position that we would love for you to come in and interview for. And that happened to be the RSSC position, which is a front desk recovery support service coordinator position, was opening up, and I interviewed and I got it. And from last July on, that has been what I've been doing here at True Colors. The previous person that worked that position, Xander, is now one of our recovery mentors on the Prime Plus team. And back in January, I was actually able to get my CRM And so that will be my next move, is to move into a mentor position, hopefully sometime this summer. And so I'm thrilled to be able to learn the organization from the ground up and to continue my growth in the recovery workforce field. It's been an incredibly rewarding and growth-filled opportunity that allows me to be of service to the community and to grow. So I'm just thrilled to be a part of this wonderful organization that Amanda and Miko have built from the ground up. And yeah, that's it.
What, for those who don't know, what does CRM stand for?
Sorry, CRM, it's a certified recovery mentor. It is an Oregon specific. I believe there's some other states that recognize CRM, but it is a peer mentor, which is somebody with lived experience in recovery or the mental health field that shares their experience with another in a quasi-professional manner.
And what does it take to get that certification?
So that is a 40-hour training, of which they are run probably, I would say, weekly amongst the different organizations that run them throughout Oregon. So typically a portion of it will be online, and then a portion of it will either be over Zoom or in person. And it involves things like motivational interviewing, ethics, just there's a whole bunch of different dimensions that they touch on, but it really just provides a foundation for how to start working with others in an ethical, safe, and trauma-informed way. At least that was my sort of training.
That's what you wrote my letter for last week.
I thought I did, but I just wanted to make
Peter
sure the listeners knew what we were talking about.
The ethics part. So I'm done 9 of the 10 steps. That's why I was asking about the last step today. I love that you said Fora. Mike is our friend.
I love Mentor Mike.
Well, and Mentor Mike is going to be on our show a week from Friday. He came on with GTD. So what a great connection right there.
Tell him I say hello.
We will. And Fora is amazing. I go there and with GTD and speak to the women sometimes on Saturdays. Beautiful center. And I think they have incorporated a lot of different aspects into it, not just recovery.
Yeah, Fora is a wonderful organization. And for all of the listeners, they have withdrawal management, and then you can go right into their residential treatment facility. And then they have outpatient. They just have so many different services there. It's a beautiful building that was built, I think, at this point, probably 4 years ago. And just the love, support that I felt there was incredible. And I am forever grateful for their existence and for their ability to offer me early recovery.
And look, from there to here. Yeah. No, and then helping others. I think that's the way it works. Peter and I have talked about this with the show. I feel more value in getting the message out to people than my monetary job. And it's been a good way to put out recovery in a different way.
Yeah, I think what you guys are doing is just so important. It just makes recovery even more accessible. Recovery is already much more accessible, I think, than it was 10 years ago, especially with the advent of Zoom meetings. And you don't necessarily have to get down to a center, but it really is just becoming more present in the foreground of society. Recovery has always been present a bit in the background. But I heard one person say, I think that AA is like the largest underground organization in the country.
Yeah.
But I think it's coming a bit more to the surface. Not AA particularly, but just recovery, because recovery is so much bigger than just AA or even just 12-step. There's so many different ways that people recover, and supporting those is what I think True Colors really does best. We have over 20 meetings a week here, some of which are 12-step based. We've got AA meetings, we have NA meetings.
Marijuana's Anonymous.
Marijuana's Anonymous. We've got, we have a pagan 12-step recovery meeting here, As Above, So Below, on Friday nights. That's huge. Just a huge number of fellows in that space. And I love that. I love that it's growing. And then just in the non-12-step areas, we have Recovery Dharma, which is a Buddhist-based recovery, Eightfold Path, Four Noble Truths. That's how they recover. And those meetings are very popular. And then for the harm reduction community, we have 2 different meetings. We have Rewrite Recovery twice a week, which is just an open, come as you are harm reduction community that just discusses ways to reduce the number of adverse consequences they experience when they do use, and it brings back sort of choice, being intentional when they use. And it really is all about just meeting people where they are and supporting their recovery goals in whatever way that looks like, and really individualizing the recovery process. I just find, honestly, my overarching goal in life is to reduce the suffering of all beings everywhere, including that suffering that I personally experience. And so if I can do anything to reduce that suffering, that is my overarching intention.
I love that.
Yeah.
You were talking about the meetings. Just for people listening, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I can't be wrong 100%. Do you have a dual diagnosis meeting?
We do. Fridays at 3:15, we have a dual diagnosis meeting. Yeah. And the facilitator is a lovely woman named Autumn, and she has over 20 years of recovery. Yeah, that's a super, super great meeting.
I love that. I was just in the last year dual diagnosed, something I didn't know I had until I had a little breakdown from working too much and being stressed and whatnot. So I looked it up, and that's the only reason I know. There's a couple other things. One, I've gotten to participate. One, I haven't, but I want to. There's a meditation meeting here on Sundays we were talking about.
There is, yeah. So it's called 1111. For those that don't know, the 11th step is prayer and meditation in sort of the 12-step realm. And so it's an AA based meditation meeting that we have every Sunday at 11:30, where people can come and meditate together and then share about their experiences. I have been able to attend that meeting a few times, and
Me
it's
too.
incredibly powerful. And it's a great, one of my favorite meetings. Yeah.
So me too, to be honest with you. Little advice. I didn't know what anyone was talking about at first, but they said sit on the couch. And the couch is more comfortable than the chair. I sat in the chair the first time. And I want you to know, for me, who my brain, like some people with the anxiety, goes 75 miles an hour. And it is a time where I've actually really been able to relax and chill and not worry about anything. And it was really good. I went 5 weeks in a row, and then my schedule changed. And that was the one thing I felt I really lost.
Oh,
Yeah, I personally really loved it, like big time loved it. I have a hard time meditating on my own, though I pray often. Meditating in a group, for me, I don't know if I just feel everybody's connection or not, but I do better. And then I know there's yoga here as well, correct?
yes, we have it's called Sober Somatics. It is a monthly breathwork and yoga workshop that we have here every third Saturday from 6 to 8. It is run by the lovely Raylene Courtney, who has over 10 years sobriety. And yeah, the goal of that meeting is to use breathwork and movement as resources for recovery. Those are just a skill building technique that we can utilize in our recovery whenever needed, because those things are often always accessible.
No, I love it.
Yeah. Any way you can deal with anxiety. I know that's strong. Every story we hear, and it's strong in my story too, that anxiety, if you can find a way, because we used whatever to quell it before. So to find an alternative. And I think the breath, for me, that works, and meditation really works. Guided meditation. I don't know if that meeting a guided meditation, or are you just on your own with it, or?
I think it's secretary's choice. I believe most weeks it is guided, but one of the weeks that I attended, it was a silent meditation, which can be particularly powerful, but somewhat difficult.
It's difficult for me because I have this committee in my head, and they're always trying to speak up and push me in different directions.
The first time I was really like, can you sit here for this long? And I was just so happy I did. By the end of the meeting, I was like, okay, way to not act up. So it was good. Tell me about the different stuff you do here other than the meetings. I know me personally, I've been to a drag queen show here.
Yes.
I've been to a dance here.
Yeah, there's a tea dance coming up, I think I saw online.
Yeah, see, I guess, so yes, I guess I'll talk about True Colors just generally to level set, because we are a queer recovery center, and our main service here is we offer peer mentors to the community, which basically just looks like a peer mentor would meet with a community member that wants services and identify what their recovery goals are, their personal recovery goals, and then develop a plan to meet them. And so this is a person that can be a force of stability during those unstable periods in early and middle recovery. So a rock, if you will, because it really takes a village to recover, and having somebody that really understands what your goals are and checks in with you and helps you meet them is, we find, to be particularly supportive and leads to good outcomes in people's personal recovery. And what I love about the peer mentor program is that they're able to help in so many different aspects, because this disease affects all dimensions of life. So if you need help finding safe and sober housing or a different place to live, a mentor can help with that. If you need a primary care doctor or even help getting insurance, they can help with that. If you're having problems maintaining food security, they can help you with that. If you need help with resume writing, they can help you with that. If you need help with getting to an interview or getting the right clothes for an interview, they can help you with that. And then
I love that.
yeah. And then they also, one of the great things is they all have cars. And so they can take you to a lot of different recovery spaces, of which there are many in the Portland metro area, and introduce you to all of these different communities. And so you can find your tribe, you can find where you fit in, because it's really at the beginning of recovery, it's so daunting to go into all of these different rooms alone. It's scary. You don't know what it's going to be like. There's a lot of misconceptions, I think, just based on perhaps even pop culture of what recovery looks like. And some people have developed a preconception that may or may not match what the reality of the meetings look like. And they're able to expose you while being a touch point where, you can feel safe and supported, and then have somebody to go process what it was like to be in that particular meeting. And it helps people regain autonomy and to become independent and confident in their own personal recovery in whatever way that looks like for them.
My favorite thing that you said, and I didn't realize it until, 24 years sober, that for me, coming from the escort service in prison, I didn't realize that our meeting was just a safe place for me. None of the guys, they were gay. They didn't want to sleep with me. And I didn't realize that until I went through IOP. I went through IOP at 25 years sober for stress management. I was the only person sober there. What I learned there was different than maybe a person coming in for recovery. But I agree with you that every person's program is different. There's not one that's the same, because none of us are the exact same. And to get a safe place where AA might not be for you. I was a narcotic user, and I went to an NA meeting and someone was high there, and I was so uncomfortable, which is how I got to an AA meeting the next day. And I just stayed. So I think that I know for my sponsee, she's young and she loves coming to activities here. It's her thing. And she knows that there's fun in sobriety too.
Absolutely. Yes. I would say that peer mentor services are the sort of bread and butter of True Colors. But what really makes us special, I think, is the community center that we have developed here. And we have just like a lounge where you can hang out and be safe. And if you just want to watch TV, we've got Netflix, we've got HBO, we've got a PlayStation 4, we've got a Switch, we have computer access if you need that. We have phone access if you need that. We always have free food, like little snacks. We've always got a fridge full of water and soda and usually candy and coffee. And when the weather's bad, you can just hang out here and be warm and be safe. And then around that sort of environment, we complement that with all these meetings that we have. So we bring people together, because I know it's cliche and it's very TED talky, but community is the antidote to addiction. And connection, rather, is the antidote to addiction. And so forming those relationships with other people that understand what you're going through is what's going to get you through this war, because it's a war. We don't come out unscathed. We have many wounds. Many of them are not visible, but a lot of people you'll find in the rooms understand what you've been going through. And it's so powerful to watch people connect and truly recover. It's one of my favorite parts of the job, is to see people
Do you have
heal.
a success story that comes to mind, or maybe a couple?
Oh God, there is a particular person who was doing well and then had a return to use, but would even come in here when they were struggling, and we were able to support them on an almost daily basis through that process of just of survival to help them meet their most basic needs. And then when that person was ready, to help them get back into a rehab, to go through detox again, and then to bring them out of detox and to help them get housing. And they're now housed and they're now in IOP. and they are a regular community member, and they were always a regular community member. And so maintaining that vibe of no judgment, of you are always welcome here, whether you're using or whether you're not using. And to see that person really thriving and getting a job and getting back on their feet and watching them smile, you can see it in their eyes tend to show hope.
I love that. Don't make me cry. I said I won't cry today. Cried enough yesterday and had bags under my eyes. I love that. I love that there's to know that someone is there, which a lot of people feel alone. How does one, because I personally did not know like half of the stuff you said. So that was so good. So let's hypothetically say I'm just coming into recovery, right? How does one get a mentor?
The easiest way is to walk in here and to chat with me. Honestly, I'll sign you up.
I love that.
I try to talk to most people that are new to the center just about all of our services and invite them to fill out a very short referral. If you would prefer to fill out a referral, you can access the referral form online on our website, truecolorsrecovery.org. On the top right, it just says get a mentor. That'll take you to a quick form. You can fill it out yourself. Somebody will contact you within 3 days to let you know that things are in process. And then depending on our wait list, or if there isn't a wait list, it varies. You will have an intake with a mentor, ideally within a few weeks or a month, maybe max.
I love it. So I know some people who mentor, right?
Yeah.
And I know some people that are getting mentored, but I didn't know how you got
connection.
one. Yeah. So that is amazing. Because I know a friend of mine, she's on our board, so we can say her name. Her name is Colette. When she was getting sober, she went through IOP. She also got a mentor, and this mentor used to take her. I just remember that she'd be like, it's Fresh Fruit and Vegetables Day. And so her mentor used to take her to this place down in Southwest Portland where they had fresh vegetables and fruit to eat healthy during her recovery. And she has an AA card now that's been passed on through AA, but she had the mentor, and the mentor helped her get 2 doctor's appointments. And literally the director of Another Chance, she and Mr. Buss came and got her on her first day. So it does take a village.
Yeah.
It really
does. The
does.
love and support in the recovery community is just so powerful.
Yeah.
It really is just amazing. And like living in Oregon, we do have a government that supports recovery. They put their money where their mouth is through Measure 110 funding and through these emergency bills that recently passed. Like there is money available. Access is still somewhat limited and it takes coordination, but that's what these mentors here are for, is to help you navigate, to help you find that doctor that can get you that medical caseworker, that social worker that can get you access to a lot of these funds that are available.
We'll have links to all of this on our site. So you have another resource to go to get connected. Because I think that isn't, where do I go? What do I do? But especially when we're new, fresh.
Yeah.
Your mind isn't working right.
Call the front desk. They can sign you up for mentorship, like over the phone. Go on the website. It's both mobile or desktop. Yeah, just stop in, send us an email, like whatever. Or hopefully we can find you in the community as well, because our mentors also do quite a lot of outreach. And so we're always looking for new avenues to cast a wider net, because yeah, it's just so important that to me and to our organization that we can lift as many people up as possible.
I have to tell you, my heart is so full. We do a lot of stories on the podcast and we talk about solutions, but this is like huge.
Next level.
Absolutely. Like my heart is really full right now.
The other thing I really
so much hope.
appreciate about True Colors and what you've talked about is it's the fellowship, which is the other things beyond the meetings, the dances, the drag shows, the things that normally in the gay community, where would you go to have that kind of social life? The bars, right? And you don't want to go to the bars. You want to have a sober place to go. And this is it. I think it's so awesome
Yeah, speaking of dances and drag shows, and we reserve Saturdays here for special events. So we don't have too many weekly meetings. We have one that's probably starting up at noon. But yeah, I run something that's called the Recovery Activity Committee, the RAC Committee, which is an events committee. And we, as a community together, plan special events for every Saturday. Today, we have a Dungeons and Dragons game for people that like playing that. And then we have that
That's
Sober
awesome.
Somatics monthly workshop. And then every last Saturday of the month, we have open mic night, which has just been incredibly powerful. People sharing recovery poetry or just poetry in general, doing original song, playing the piano, really just sharing their creativity and getting to hang out in a safe and sober space and realizing that recovery is fun and really increasing their skills and their confidence to be out in the community and know that they can be safe while having fun, because a lot of our quote unquote fun wasn't necessarily the safest for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how you said find your tribe, because Peter went to a meeting that wasn't his tribe. And then when he found his tribe, he found really what he was missing. And he felt so much more comfortable in his recovery.
Yeah. Where I went before was very conservative. And so I didn't feel like I could be my true self. So I couldn't be fully honest with my story and my sharing. And that's so important in my recovery, to be fully honest with myself. So to find the group that I'm in now, where like-minded, like people, I call them my people.
Sure.
It changed my whole world.
Yeah, finding that right group, it really is the foundation of where we can start to belong and to consider new ways of living, to have a willingness and a safety to find a new path and to listen, and then to start to be honest with yourself and with others, and then a place to really open up your mind where recovery then becomes possible, because having a closed mind turns us off from, or turns me off from from realizing full potential. It's quite, and so these meetings are quite powerful spaces that open our minds to different ideas, which is how we recover.
Yeah, exactly.
I think also it offers a future when you're using or drinking or whatever it is that you do. You're not really thinking about your future and what the possibilities are or the hope. And I think everything you described can belong. It gives you hope. It gives you faith in a future that can be better.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say to anyone? Or I'm really excited that we put this information out there.
Yeah.
You don't know how excited I am.
Oh, no, I guess just let me chat a little bit about our Pride Month. So, so June's coming up. So on June 8th, we have the Glam Lot hosting a Spill the Tea dance, which is a dance party that we'll be hosting here at True Colors, 3807 Northeast MLK at 6 p.m. And that will just be a really fun dance party with DJ Soul spinning. They're just a lovely sober drag troupe here in Portland, and it'll be a pre-event for the main event, which is our main event is going to be a Freedom from Bondage drag show on June 22nd, and that will be we've got a taco truck coming with veggie and carnivore options, chips, salsa, guac, rice, beans. They'll be out back with that, and then the Glam Lot will be doing a full show. It'll probably be somewhere between 7 and 8. We're still trying to figure out the exact time, but the event will start at 5 p.m. and then we'll finish out the month with open mic, and then we'll get ready for Portland Pride, which takes place in June, and we'll have a booth down at the Pride event on the waterfront. I believe that's July 20th and 21st, I want to say.
Okay.
And that's the parade and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for us there. You can get in touch with us at the booth or just stop in for one of these great events. There should be a lot of people here. So it's a great opportunity to get to know some other people in the recovery community. So yeah.
I
That's
personally
awesome.
have been to a couple of those events. Becca, that was on our show from Kings and Queens, is in that excellent community, and it's a lot of fun. It is. It's a good time. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us here and let us share the word, as it were.
We appreciate
We
it.
really do. And that's one of our goals, other than Our first initial idea was just to share stories from all different types of addiction. But we soon learned that there's so many recovery centers and places, meeting spaces that are out there that I didn't know about half of them that I've learned about so far. And I know there's a ton more I'm going to learn about as I progress through this show. So
we're hoping again, like we get the word out to someone.
Yeah.
And it works for them if you help one person, right? Like,
that's the crux of the whole thing is one person helping another person.
It's amazing. I'm so happy to be here. Really, truly.
Thank you guys so much for interviewing me. This was very fun. I loved
told
it.
you there was no rush. It really isn't.
No stress. Just two crazy people asking questions.
Talking,
having
just
a chat.
kicking it. So
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks to each and every one of you for lending us your ears and hearts. Your engagement is what fuels our passion and keeps this podcast thriving.
We cherish the moments we share here and hope they resonate with you, whether you're on a daily commute, at the gym, or just taking a moment for yourself.
Make sure to head over to our website at realrecoverypodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter for the latest insights and uplifting stories from our community delivered straight to your inbox.
Click that subscribe button on your favorite podcast player too, so you can keep up with every new episode. It's your support that keeps our conversation alive and meaningful.
And if our stories have touched you, consider using the donate button on our site. Your contributions, no matter the size, are deeply appreciated. They help us continue our mission of sharing hope and healing.
Join us beyond the podcast and follow our journey on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. All the links are on our site, so you can stay connected and be a part of the Real Recovery community every day.
Your likes, shares, and comments not only spread the message of recovery, but also remind us that we're all in this together.
So, until we meet again, remember that recovery is a journey, not a destination, and we'll be here to accompany you every step of the way to recovery, real recovery.
Thanks for listening.